Finally, guys, after months of waiting, we finally hit July, and Superman has finally been released. And I feel like I'm the last guy to watch this movie because I saw a lot of people getting invited to screenings and then Amazon Prime screenings, but I just had to watch it with the rest of the world the day it comes out. So I watched it, but bro, I liked this movie, but I wanted to love it. Every new piece of footage I saw from the trailers and that was just like making my hype meter go up and through the roof. But after watching this movie, I liked it, but I can't believe I left that disappointed. But like, everyone's gonna have a different feeling for this movie. People are gonna love this movie and think it's the greatest thing ever. Some people are just gonna be okay with it. Other people, those weirdos in the corner, is gonna say there was whatever. I had such faith in James Gunn because he's been on a generational run for his comic book films. Hasn't missed anything. He still hasn't missed, but he could have done better. I think this movie shows that he bit off way more than he can chew. But his castings are impeccable. David Corenswet is Superman. I loved watching him as Superman. This guy is very charming, comes off very heroic, wants to do good, and is infectious. This is the first Superman I feel like I can actually get to know and relate to since Christopher Reeve. And that's great. Rachel Brosnahan is the actual great Lois Lane. Like, I feel like this is a character that I can actually mean something to the audience and you can actually root for. Not like in the other movies. And Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor is amazing. I always knew Nicholas Hoult was a great actor, but he brings that hater energy to Lex Luthor and you just feel it. Like, every inch of his dialogue he gives, it just shows that he has that right bit of energy every time. And he has some great scenes in the movie, especially when he shows his darker half, because when he shows it, he goes off. I love how Gunn shoots his movie too. He uses his camera movements with such personality, and it shows that when the flying scenes for Superman, they just feel really fast. Like you're like right there with them. And that's all I can ask for some comic book directors, just to leave your mark on this thing. Show them that this is your movie. Release that personality, and this one fits the bill and goes crazy with it. I give that props. And James Gunn did promise that we're going to bring this Superman back down a couple notches. We're going to make him more down to earth than in other renditions where he's just a broken machine. Yeah, Gunn, I see what you're trying to do, but like, you did it way too much in this movie. You made Superman a man, which is fine, no pun intended, but like, you brought him way back down too many notches. You have to make him at least comprehensible and make him be able to get shit done, because this Superman is just a rag doll. He gets thrown in every scene of the movie. The whole movie, every fight he's in, Superman loses. He gets his ass kicked. And after a while, I'm like, this is supposed to be Superman, dude. Superman's supposed to know how to get shit done and just beat people up when he needs to. Like, yeah, you got all the flying scenes, you got his laser vision scenes, but when it's time to throw down, this Superman can't fight for nothing. And that annoyed me a lot. I did not like seeing that. I do not like seeing the hero get his ass kicked so much. I never did, and I never will. Also, the dialogue is great. It's good for the most part, but there are just some scenes that could have been just shaved down a bit because they're only there to like drag on a joke. This movie's a bit too jokey for my taste, but I like to laugh. I love to laugh, but like, I feel like in some movies and for some characters and in some parts, it should be placed more appropriately. Not every single scene. We don't need to see a cheap laugh every single scene, because I wasn't really laughing that much. Yeah, there's some parts where I'm laughing. I thought it was really good when they were appropriately placed. But like, after a while, you just start getting numb to it. You just sit there in the theater with your head resting on the chair and rolling your eyes, and it's just like, this is not funny. Crypto's a good character. I do like seeing a super dog in my movie, and he's from the DC library. I did like seeing him in cartoons over the years, but in this one, I feel like you could have brought it back a little bit. Like, don't make him as annoying. I understand it's a joke, but like, pull it back a bit. And too many damn characters, dude. Like, there's so much stuff in this movie. There's so many situations where Superman's already in the middle of doing something. It's a pre-established universe. That's fine. Other comic book people have done that before. We don't need to see the origin story every time. That's okay. But like, we gotta get to know these versions of the characters a bit more, because this is the first time we ever meet them. This is the first time I've ever seen David Corenswet as Superman. And like, you can't have him be in a situation in the middle of a situation in the middle of a situation, and then just have that play out through the course of events in a bunch of movies. Like, I remember someone saying that this reminds them of the Superman animated series, where it just plays like an episode episodically. I feel like it should have been placed like in the Suicide Squad movie, where you have those comic book panels, like those trademark scenes you would see in the beginning of the next scene. And I heard that was the case for this movie, but it got scrapped. I feel like this movie could have benefited from that. Also, the Justice Gang, they're alright, I guess. Freaking like Guy Gardner, Nathan Fillion, he does a good job of just being a complete total douchebag the whole movie. But I did love seeing his Green Lantern powers. I'm really looking forward to that Lantern series. I heard he's going to be in that, so cool on that. This Mr. Terrific, he was a cool-ass dude. I did like seeing him, but his technology was kind of basic, but it was alright. It was cool, and Isabella Merced as Hot Girl. Honey, what is it you do here? Why are you in this? Dude, Hot Girl was the most annoying character in the movie, just screaming like, ah! Like, no, every scene, like, dude, you don't need to scream to scrap. But the movie did have some emotional scenes, like the scene where Clark and Lois are in their apartment, and then it was a good scene. It was getting to me, and then you could have some real emotional payoff with that scene. But then when you look out the window, you see the Justice Gang getting their ass kicked by some intergalactic bad guy. Like, bro, like, for another cheap laugh? No. This movie did have a mission in mind. Just give us a new, pre-established, brand new DC universe that we can have our mystical and whimsical adventures in. And I feel like it succeeded. It kickstarted something special here, because this world feels like an actual wacky comic book universe. And I do want to see much, much more from that. So this movie succeeds in that. And I do want to see more. And I definitely want to see David Corenswet back as Superman, because he was great as the character. Just chill out on the comedy and make the Corenswet a badass. Like, dude, he's the most powerful superhero ever, and you make him like a ragdoll in this? Like, dude, I do not want to see that again. And also just have the emotional moments simmer in for a bit. Like, we don't need a laugh every 5 minutes. I love to laugh, but god damn. The opening scene, I thought we were going to see Clark don his suit and then go into Metropolis to whoop some ass. But then immediately the Bravia villain gets him by the cape and throws him to the ground. And then immediately after, you have him at the Daily Planet as Clark Kent, and then just chatting up Lois Lane. Then it'll pan over to Jimmy Olsen, and he'll make a joke about him dating women and him getting sent government plans, and then in reality it's just the girls' selfies. Like, bro. And I'm serious about the making Superman badass thing, dude. I'm more serious about that than the comedy rule, if I'm being honest. Because if I see this Superman in a Justice League movie and he gets his ass beat, how's he going to go up against Darkseid? How is he going to go up against Brainiac? How's he going to go up against anything other crazy villain like that? This guy is going to get killed by Doomsday. Like, dude, make him super. Because if I see a sequel or whatever, and he's still getting ragdoll and thrown and ass beat the whole movie, I'm going to crash out like this. James Gunn, you did a fine job. It's just tone it down a bit, bro. Like, dude, but everything else was good. It was a good movie. Way better than the other movies, that's for sure. And I definitely want to see way more from this world with characters I really want to see. It's a fine time. It's a good time at the theaters. But I wanted this to be better. I wanted it to be amazing. I wanted it to be super. I wanted to jump out of my seat, but I didn't get that, so I'm disappointed. Let's rate this up. Superman gets a B.